Close your eyes for a moment. Listen. That sound, that particular layered, unhurried ringing, is the sound of a world that has not changed in 600 years. There are no cars in Gimmelwald, no roads that carry them. No parking lots, no traffic lights, no drive-through, no delivery trucks, no sound that a combustion engine makes. The only way to arrive here is in a cable car that runs every hour, or on foot through the mountain paths that the farmers have walked for 7 centuries. Gimmelwald, Switzerland. Population, 100 people. Altitude, 1,367 meters above sea level. Founded sometime in the 1300s. Changed since then. Very little. And in this village, on this ledge, with these mountains, with these bells, there is a question that every person who comes here eventually asks. Not, how do they survive here? But something quieter, something more personal. What would it take to never want to leave? Switzerland is the most expensive country in Europe. Its cities, Zurich, Geneva, Basel, regularly top the global rankings for cost of living. The average Swiss salary is approximately 87,000 Swiss francs a year, roughly $97,000, the highest average in Europe. And yet, tucked into the Bernese Oberland, on a shelf of mountain above the Lauterbrunnen Valley, there is a village that none of that wealth and none of that development has ever quite reached. Not because Switzerland forgot Gimmelwald, because Gimmelwald made sure of it. In the second half of the 20th century, developers looked at this ledge, with its views of the Eiger, the Mönch, the Jungfrau, with its position above one of the most visited valleys in the Alps, and saw a resort. Ski lifts, hotels, a road, the infrastructure of modern alpine tourism that had already transformed neighboring villages into destinations. The people of Gimmelwald looked at the same ledge and saw something different, their home. And so they did something that required either great wisdom or great stubbornness, and perhaps both. They had their village classified as an avalanche zone. Under Swiss building law, classified avalanche zones cannot receive building permits for new structures. No building permits, no hotel, no road, no resort. The developers went elsewhere, and Gimmelwald stayed exactly what it had always been, a farming village on a ledge with 100 people and no reason to change. The 100 people of Gimmelwald are farmers, most of them. Some run small guest houses or work the cable car or make cheese in the small dairy above the village. Some work in the valley below and come home on the cable car each evening. But the essential character of Gimmelwald is agricultural. It has always been agricultural. It was agricultural before the word tourism existed. Each farming family in Gimmelwald tends enough land to feed roughly 15 to 20 cows. That is the calculation that has governed life here for centuries. The land above the village, the steep green hillsides that would be impossible to farm with any machine, because no machine could hold on, support exactly this many cows, not more. There is a small shop in Gimmelwald with no cashier, no register, no camera watching, no lock on the door. You walk up to it. It stands at the edge of a farm path, open to the air, and you take what you need. Alpine cheese made on this farm, honey from these mountains, eggs from these chickens. You read the handwritten price, you put your money in the wooden box, you take your change if you need it, and you go. Nobody checks, nobody verifies, nobody follows up. They call it the honesty shop. And it works. It has always worked. Let us talk about money. Because Gimmelwald sits inside the most expensive country in Europe, and the question of what it actually costs to live here deserves an honest answer. Switzerland is not cheap. A cup of coffee in Zurich costs 5 Swiss francs. A beer in a Geneva bar, 7. A monthly transit pass in Bern, 90 francs. But Gimmelwald is not Zurich. The rent for an apartment in Gimmelwald averages around 2,455 Swiss francs per month, approximately $2,750, comparable to a mid-size American city, for an apartment with the Jungfrau outside the window. For visitors, the mountain hostel offers a bed for between 35 and 50 Swiss francs a night, roughly $40 to $56. In the summer of 1871, a 27-year-old philosopher arrived in Gimmelwald. His name was Friedrich Nietzsche. He was looking for something that the universities and cities could not provide. He found it here. The hay harvest in Gimmelwald cannot be mechanized. The slopes are simply too steep. The same way it was cut and raked and carried in 1346, when the village was first documented. There is a German word for the kind of satisfaction that comes from doing a physically demanding thing correctly, with your own hands, in the open air. Handwork, the work of hands. There is a moment in Gimmelwald that happens every clear evening. The alpenglow. The Eiger turns amber. The Mönch turns rose. The Jungfrau turns the particular shade of pink that has no name in any language. It lasts perhaps 20 minutes, and then it is over. The peaks darken. The sky deepens. The stars come. The mountain is not a view. It is a presence. Something that has been here longer than anything else you can name. People who visit Gimmelwald often describe the same experience. They walk the path through the village. They sit somewhere, a bench, a hillside, the doorstep of the hostel, and they do nothing. The Swiss have a concept that they describe more easily in action than in words. Gemütlichkeit. It translates approximately as coziness. Gemütlichkeit is not just physical comfort. It is the quality of a space and a time where nothing needs to be hurried, where the pace of the world outside has slowed to match the pace of your own breathing. That the world does not have to move at the speed it is currently moving. That speed is a choice, and that somewhere, on a ledge in the Swiss Alps, 100 people made a different one, and the mountain agreed with them. 100 people, 600 years, no roads, no cars, no reason to leave. Home is not the place that keeps up. Home is the place that knows what does not need to change. So, could you do it? Could you trade the road for the cable car? The commute for the path? The noise for the bells? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. And if this gave you something, a feeling of stillness, a moment of something you recognized even though you have never been here, share it with someone who needs to slow down today. Next week, we are going somewhere that could not be more different from Gimmelwald, a place of extremes rather than gentleness, of ice rather than flowers, of survival rather than serenity, because the world is large enough for both. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Until then, remember, the most extraordinary lives are not always the hardest ones. Sometimes they are simply the most deliberately chosen.